Hello, everyone. My name is Shanae Jordan, and I am the affiliate manager here at REsimpli. And I am sitting down with Bill Goodland, one of our fantastic users, and we are going to chat a little bit about his experience using REsimpli and about his business. So, thanks for joining, Bill. Let's start off with just having you tell us a little bit about yourself. What market you're in, where you live, what real estate vertical you're in, all that simple stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shanae. So, my name is Bill. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Went to grad school in the Philly area, and then started investing in the Lehigh Valley, which is about an hour north of Philly. Started off as mostly a buy and hold guy, house hack that I bought on market fresh out of grad school. Lived in it for a few years, started buying up rentals, and then just kind of slowly scaled with mostly like just cosmetic value add rehabs. When interest rates shot up, I realized that I need to figure something else out because rentals on market weren't really cash flowing anymore. So, got into flipping, was buying off some wholesalers and stuff, and then kind of realized that I need to start my own marketing. So that's where ReSimpli came in.
Nice. How long have you been investing for? How many years?
About 5.5 years, give or take. So I started looking late 2019, actually closed my first place early 2020.
Can you tell me a little bit about the size of your business, like how many team members you have and how many deals that you're doing on a monthly,
Sure.
annual basis?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm essentially a one-man show. I'm not swinging the hammer. I sub everything out. But like, I'm the one answering the phones, and I'm the one dealing with the marketing and going on showings and things like that. Right now, I'm sending about 5,700 mailers a month, and I handle all the calls through ReSimpli. I will have like agents that help me lease up units from time to time because I do manage my rental portfolio. Right now, I have, I guess, between me and my wife, and I have a partner on like three deals. We currently have like 15 rented, I guess 17 total rental units, including the ones that are either under construction, listed for rent, about to be rented. Two more under contract, so soon to be 19 in like 2 weeks. And then as far as flips are concerned, I really only started flipping like late last year into this year. So, three completed flips and then four more that are currently in the process of being flipped, either listed, inherited tenants that were waiting to move out, or under construction. So, the last like 7 months is when I've started to like get a lot more consistent. And yeah, I think 7 or 8 deals in the last, or yeah, in the last 7 months. So about a deal a month, some month or two. So yeah, it's been going well.
So mainly buy and hold and then flipping as well is your
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would love to hold everything. But I mean, when if it's not going to cash flow, I'm not gonna
model.
hold it. So my basic criteria right now is like if I can leave less than like if I can do a perfect burr and pull all my money out, great. But if it'll cash flow something and I'll leave like less than 15 grand in the deal, and it's not like too far away for me to manage, like I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'm gonna look to flip it.
Nice.
I'm a licensed agent as well, so I might consider taking on a listing here and there, but really not my focus.
Right. So you mentioned direct mail. What other marketing
Mhm.
channels do you do?
Yeah, so pretty much only direct mail, like right now.
Mhm.
I've done some cold calling in the past. I had a cold caller that was using like one of the power dialers years ago when I kind of first started to do direct to seller marketing. At the time, I was hearing, oh, it's like the lowest cost per acquisition, and but for me at the time, I was working a full time job as well, following up on her leads that weren't really great leads. It became like a complete other job, and I would much rather take inbound leads than do outbound and then follow up on the outbound. So, just recently, like last month, I closed a deal that I had been. He was a cold calling lead, and 2.5 years of follow up before I actually closed the deal. And it's a house that I would like pass every day on the way to the gym, and I was just like, "There's that house on Hayes Street that I want. I'm gonna keep on
Yeah,
following up with the guy." And sure enough, finally closed it. So did get a deal out of cold calling, but
that's
I
amazing.
much rather prefer direct mail now. So
I love stories like that when it's like it's been forever in the pipeline and the
yeah,
seller finally caves and is like, all right, I'm
yeah.
ready. So that's great. Tell me about, did you start out immediately with ReSimpli or did you come over from another platform?
Sure. So I wasn't using another CRM platform. I think I like created a Podio account and was like, oh, I'm going to build this out. But I think there's I don't know if you want me to mention other names out
It's
there,
fine.
but
No, we're
yes.
happy
So
with that.
I okay, sounds good. Yeah. So I model a lot of what I do off a close buddy of mine that does a lot of marketing, and I know he had somebody build out a Podio like for real estate marketers, investors, and I think it was pretty in depth, and he spent a good amount of money on it, and he's like, oh, I pay like not a lot per month to use it, but I think it was a lot of building it out and customizing to make it exactly what he wanted. I mean, that's great and all. I kind of prefer the more business in a box solution like you guys have. I'm willing to pay a little bit more, knowing that if I get one more deal every 5 years, it pays for itself. If it's going to be a little bit more streamlined and efficient and already kind of created for exactly what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I wasn't using a CRM before. I think, yeah, like I said, I made a Podio account. I didn't really implement it. Other than that, I wasn't doing enough marketing at the time for me to really justify having a CRM. I was using like Google Sheets worth
I
of
was just gonna
leads.
say,
And
were
then,
you using Sheets?
yeah. And then, like, every couple weeks I'd sit down and be like, oh, I got to call all these people back. And, half of them wouldn't answer. And I kind of realized if I wanted to, be a professional and do this full time, that I need a CRM. So that's where you guys came in.
I love that. So, what would you say your pain points were, even though you weren't necessarily on another platform, but what were your pain points in the systems that you were using that were alleviated once you moved over to ReSimpli?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think it's seeing where your leads are. Like your guys, I don't know what you call them, folders, buckets of like active leads, contact made, that stuff. I didn't realize how important that was, but that's really a game changer because looking back, there was a couple deals that I got under contract. One fell through, another one that I closed that ended up being my best flip to date. There were sellers that I was using like a Google Voice number previously that called me multiple times that were motivated. That luckily I ended up getting them under contract and closing one of them, that I'm like, oh, I could have missed out on a very large deal if like I missed this or whatever. And I almost did because like they called me twice, one of which on a weekend, whereas like when I could see an active lead of like, oh, I need to either call them back right away, or I obviously try to pick up on first ring as much as possible. But yeah, just a systemized like, oh, this is a new lead, like you gotta whereas when you have like Google Voice, it's kind of just like, who are all these phone numbers again? And the implementation, it's not as yeah, people, I'm sure people that have done it kind of know what I'm talking about, that it's
Yeah.
just it works, but it's not what you need it to be.
It's just kind of like fly by the seat of your pants, not really organized, no real systems, processes,
Yeah.
just kind of winging it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the drip campaigns is the thing that I'm really trying to dive into now and getting that situated. That I haven't like seen the fruits of that yet because I'm still fairly new to ReSimpli, but I kind of always have in the back of my head when I'm running around doing project management on rehabs or dealing with whatever the case may be. I'm like, oh, I really should be doing seller follow-up calls, which when it's like a hot lead that like I think I got something there, like of course I'm on top of it and like looking to get the deal closed, but like I think a lot of investors probably can relate to this in that like, oh, well, that person that seemed like a hot lead 3 months ago that cooled off, like if I actually continue to follow up with them, like I'm a lot more likely to close that. And with the automated like drip sequence campaigns, like I'm sure that those are a lot less likely to slip through the cracks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear from a lot of our users that the drip campaigns are game changing. And you mentioned about the deal that you closed after, 2.5 years. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from users that that same thing happens, but it's all because they were on that drip campaign for so long.
Yeah.
Sharad, our owner, actually, he himself has had a couple of those that have been on his drip campaigns for well over a year, and they finally end up closing. So,
hmm
how long have you been with ReSimpli for?
I think June was when I came on board, so I guess 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? Yeah. Excellent. What was the experience that you had in getting set up and getting started with ReSimpli? You can touch on like, any interactions that you had with our CS team or just, starting to input your leads or migrate your leads over. What was just your experience in getting started?
I mean, the experience is great. You guys, uh, I can definitely see your guys' marketing um, expertise in like the follow up with just me. So I'm like, all right, these guys understand marketing. If they're marketing to me this well, then they definitely can help me market to sellers. But so that was part of it. And then I think your guys' initial offer of like, I don't know if it was a free trial or discounted trial or whatever, like it made it appealing. Whereas almost like if I'm willing to spend a certain amount on marketing to get a deal that's going to make me, X tens of thousands of dollars, like I can afford to invest in a CRM that's less likely to make me have a deal slip through the cracks and seem more professional and manage things. And then once I kind of like pulled the trigger to make the commitment to use you guys for at least a year, I believe it was Irvin or one of your like onboarding guys,
Mhm.
like set up calls to make sure that I was like utilizing the platform properly. I was getting the most out of it. That was really helpful. And then also knowing that like, okay, even if I don't have a call booked with him that day, I can always hop on to like the live Zoom chats with some of the people that help with this stuff, or just a text chat, and then you guys do a really good job of like following up to make sure that my questions were answered and that it was taken care of. So yeah, the experience has been great so far.
Glad to hear it. Are you utilizing any of our AI tools yet?
Not yet. Well, I don't think I don't know if I don't pay for the upgraded whatever for them. I know when you initially rolled them out, I was doing the AI answering. So I was originally paying for like an answering service. I ended up canceling it because they weren't real estate focused and I didn't think it was great. And then I heard one of the AI calls, and I of course had this angry seller, as I'm sure everybody can relate to. It was like, "Yeah, I got a postcard. You want to buy my house?" And then it's "Hi, this is Allie. I'm an AI phone agent." And like she completely when I say she's an AI, but like diffused the situation with the guy, and like his tonality completely changed over like the 2 minute phone conversation. I was showing some of my friends. I was like, guys, I just sort of like clicked the box saying, yeah, sure, have an AI like answer rather than it going to voicemail. And I remember going back to listen to it. I could share it with you guys if you want, but
I'd love that. Yeah.
yeah, listening to it and being like, oh, that's kind of wild. Like even though she introduced herself as an AI phone agent, like I don't think he like that registered with him. I think he was just an angry guy calling off a postcard, and then the AI just like diffused it, calmed down his tonality, and then he like became a lot more reasonable. Like didn't turn out to be a deal. Like this guy wasn't actually motivated enough, but just knowing that like, oh, this isn't like your typical like customer support chatbot that's
Right.
like, no, I don't understand. I was like, oh no, like this is trained for real estate specifically. Like it knows the questions to ask, it knows the follow-up thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
You should definitely check it out. So it's even from beta to now, it's come a long way, and we're definitely continuing to make improvements. But yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things about AI is, they don't get emotional, so
Mm.
they can diffuse situations, and then you don't have to listen to somebody cussing you out on your voicemail either. So,
Yeah.
it's a win-win. Um, can you share any like specific metrics, outcomes, or like tangible benefits that you've noticed in your business improve since starting to use REsimpli?
Noticeable metrics. So that is assuming that I track my own metrics. Which, yeah, no, I know I should. I know that you guys have like a bunch of like KPI tools
Yes.
and stuff like that.
We'll
I
get
have,
there, Bill. It's all right.
yeah, yeah. So I'll be honest. I'm been much more focused on like optimizing deal flow because I realize that the most profitable thing I can do is just make sure that I'm doing more deals. I think I probably focused way too long on optimizing the profitability of every deal I did, which is good to a point. It's what helped me be disciplined with my personal finances, with the business finances. And I think what I've realized is that optimizing every little thing has been hindering growth because I haven't been focusing as much on, hey, just do more deals. When it comes down to vendors like my CRM or vendors like my contractors, like I'm much more comfortable now knowing like, okay, I'm happy for somebody to make some money off me if it means that they're helping me make money too. So I'll be honest, I haven't focused as much on that. But what I do know is that like since implementing ReSimpli, since being more consistent with doing higher volume direct mail, is I've been essentially locking up a deal with every month of mail I've done. And I'm like, okay, if I'm spending 3 grand a month in mail and having those leads go to a CRM, if I'm getting one a month, and then knowing that chances are if I continue to follow up with the other leads, other ones are going to trickle in eventually. Like if I just do that over and over again and scale that up, like I'm going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So just seeing that I've been consistently getting deals. Now my volume isn't huge by any means. So like when you're closing on average a deal or two a month, I would say I'm closing probably one myself and then scattered in a few wholesaler deals. Um, right now I'm kind of like, all right, it's working. Just focus on continuing to do that. But yeah, I haven't dialed in my metrics as much. But if all I know is, all right, spend around $3 grand a month in mail, and I'm getting a deal that should net me 40 grand, like I'll do that all day
Yeah,
long.
no brainer. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So basically, REsimpli is just helping you achieve that deal flow and that scalability at this point in your business.
yeah, and managing the leads too,
Sure.
because like I've noticed that with a couple of these mail campaigns, like I might go 2 weeks without a call, but then the days that it's hitting, like the mail is hitting mailboxes, like I've had days where I'm getting 10 to 20 calls and
That's
like
amazing.
manage, yeah, like managing all those leads when they come in immediately, being able to see it in my active leads and my contact made and my due diligence and my all those different folders to help me manage those. It's a game changer because like when I had like maybe 5 decent leads and like 30 not so great leads in a Google sheet, I would have to like filter through and like look, be like, oh yeah, that guy seemed like legit. This one seemed like a tire kicker. Like, yeah, I should follow up with all of them, but like there's different levels of follow up. And then I have to like think
Absolutely.
like, do I send this guy a letter? Do I send this one a text? Whereas like now that I have it all in separate like folders, I'm like, okay, I can treat these leads differently based on their level of interest and things
Yep.
like that.
Last question. What would you say to somebody that is considering REsimpli but hasn't pulled the trigger quite yet?
I would say, like, what does another deal mean to you? And I think for most people, they know that, like, okay, if I close an extra deal, that's 10, 20, 30 grand, whatever. And like, how much does something like a CRM cost? In the grand scheme of things, it helps you do one more deal every even couple of years. It's like worth it. And I would argue it's probably more so worth it tenfold. That focus less on costs, more on value, because that has been a big mindset shift for me, getting over the hurdle of paying for mail, paying for CRM, knowing that like this is how you grow. And if you want to play with the big boys, you kind of have to put your big boy pants on and be willing to spend a little money to be a professional and treat your business that way. So yeah, I would say pull the trigger and yeah,
I love that. Yeah. It's a business, not a hobby, right?
yeah,
So,
for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill, for sharing your experience with ReSimpli. Look forward to seeing you grow and scale. And I'm sure next time we talk, maybe sometime next year, you'll be, you know, hopefully doubling down on everything that you've got going on, and you'll be doing 2 to 4 deals a month and,
Yeah,
just keep on
that'd be
going.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.